Hello, hello, and welcome back to Star Wars Empire at War, as of course Zsinj's Empire, where we have finally taken the two remaining initial planets belonging to the CSA, which is absolutely brilliant. It's a lovely corner of the galaxy where we can make a lot of money and some excellent production as well, especially with Osmanpex and Essian. That would be very much needed indeed. Making already 1,050 credits from Essian there alone is a massive bump to our resources. We've also held back an invasion on Wayland previously, where Ardis Kane in his Executor did take a bit of a beating when we retaliated against that. We did take a small beating ourselves, losing some frigates and some Imperial Star Destroyers, but we're actually going to reinforce this particular fleet with some Nebulon Bs already queued up and some Lancer corvettes, so that we do have point defense and anti-fighter capabilities over there. And then we're going to start thinking about today going for Abroa Sky and Garrus 4. Why is that? Well, because we now need to start thinking about other areas of the galaxy, and these two particular planets have some excellent production slots on the ground of the planets, meaning we could probably get away with factory production, a little bit of tax, and a planetary shield generator. If we place perhaps a decent land garrison on both planets, will be well defended for any future invasion attempts. We could try the same with Mandalore, but we have really focused there on getting our influence up to 10 so that we do get access to these specialized units there. So we might actually start thinking about training some Mandalorian infantry, because they're actually cheaper, at least on Mandalore. How do they go on Wayland? 193, so a little more expensive than our Raptors on Wayland, but they're also just as good with a lot of anti-infantry capabilities, and also some wrist rockets for a little bit of light anti-vehicle damage there. We also get the Canderous assault tanks, which is the main battle tank we're severely lacking in our roster otherwise. So think about getting those out to modernise our army a little bit. And then maybe we'll think about going for this triangle of planets towards the Pentastar Alignment to really start beating them back. These aren't particularly the most defensive planets though, because their space or orbital space is not the greatest. They're all light frigate shipyards, and we only have a few production slots on Gravlux and Generis, so that's not the greatest there. And even over here at Fader, not the greatest amount of production centres there. But I think we should be fine there. We could even go for Orocco over here as another choke point planet. But that's probably going to be the main aim today. I think we'll certainly look at raiding, at least over Dzevro, because that's the last bastion of production for the CSA. So we might even go there first. What I'm going to do is get the game running and actually scout that out with our hero over here. And we do have a new scout hero as well over here. So we're going to send them over to, I think, if we go to Garrus to start with, because the Abroa Sky has recently been taken by the Imperial Remnant, so we might be expecting an orbital fleet there, but otherwise not a lot of production if we act quickly. What do we see at Dzevro? Pretty much nothing actually, so we'll quickly raid that orbital space there. Well, we're currently sitting above the orbital space of Garrus, but before we can get any land invasion force over there, the New Republic has decided to try and invade Riverston. This is actually quite an interception, because they have a massive Bulwark 3 battlecruiser here, and that is an excellent picking. If we can get that while it's relatively undefended with just a Quasar and a couple MC-80s, that would be brilliant. So, where is our interdictor? It's just over here. Activate that immediately, and we'll push up to one side with our Imperial Star Destroyers, get them a bit of cover of course. I think we'll bring Zsinj to the flank a little more. Because we're defending, our formation is not exactly how I would like it. That's okay, we can certainly deal with that. Just push up the ships we need here. It's a little messy. That's absolutely fine. Lovely. We're going to get a few units over here from the garrison. And we'll make sure we get all of our fighters up here. I'll move our bombers, of course, into one massive control group. And I think we'll bomb down one of the MC-80s because it's not really going to penetrate the shields too much. 20,000 shield capacity on these Bulwark 3s is absolutely massive. That was comparable, I think, to the tank battle cruiser which we took down earlier. So to think that's a similar threat which they can make on demand, it's actually a little bit scary. So we're just about bombing this MC-80 there. We have switched at least one half of our bombers to one side and the other half to another, but we've even ripped it past its full powers of shields, which is rather amusing there. Hoping for a fair bit of splash damage here so that our victories and nearby Imperials can just rip that apart. Yeah, look at that, taking away the majority of its turbo lasers in one go. That's now pretty much a non-threat with just a single medium ion cannon left. So pull back with our bombers, let them reload, and we'll do exactly the same to this MC-80 there. Looks like the Bulwark is trying to isolate itself even more, just harassing that and keeping on top of any fighters it spews out. Do see a few over here, some X-Wings, and I forget which ones these are, some H-Wings. Get on top of those, make sure we attack this MC-80 once again. Try and split some fire up a little bit. But look at that, we do miss a bit with our proton rockets, but we do hit enough to rip it past its shields, which is excellent. And there we go, getting that hangar down is great. There we go. It's once again pretty much a null target there. And our bombers can handle that by themselves. So we bring up with our more minor frigates. Get around the back here with that Bulwark, I think, with our frigates over here. We push up with everything else here so we can get on top of that. Maybe try and split its fire a little bit. Like so. Yeah, and now I can get, of course, our bombers onto the Bulwark just to get rid of its shields at least. We can just, you know, tickle it with our fighters, of course. They've done some work already against its shields, which is excellent. Just need to hide behind the asteroids, I think, over here. Get into range. Move up here. Encircle it. Would be great. Move up here. Get as many cannons onto that as possible. Keep the galleon about as well, but I don't think we're going to keep up with any damage there. Very close to removing its shields, so we're just going to split up to get some splash damage with our bombers. Just the tiniest bit. There we go, lovely. Ripping apart some of these weapon points already. Let's start getting some powerful weapons over here. Get rid of the heavy turbo lasers, of course. Ripping that apart. Absolutely brilliant. Let's try and do the same over here. Just activate again. Try and move things around. Great stuff. As long as we don't lose a ship here, we'll be absolutely happy. They're doing some damage, but they're very quickly losing those turbo lasers once again. With that dealt with, that's a very nice defense there indeed. Very happy to get rid of that massive, massive capital ship. They don't come cheap whatsoever. And that is a threat dealt with. So we're going to start and get on to Garrus 4 next, I think. And I actually don't mind the map for Garrus 4 here. It's quite open, and it does allow us to get some excellent use out of our SPMATs. So we're going to start with, once again, 2 dropships. Though we don't fully need both of these at the moment. Just group these up. Get this unit into there. Move straight on over to this command post. Drop down here, I think. Do we need to drop here, or do we need to retreat? We need to retreat, I think. Not a problem. Let's get rid of this infantry while we've got some time there. Okay, so not a problem. We're going to be seeing some very hefty vehicles to begin with. That's okay. We'll play a little more defensively then, if that's how they want to go. Not entirely familiar with the Hapen roster. I believe they do provide some very heavy armour themselves. Do see some more of these speeders coming about. These are a little more anti-infantry focused. I know they've got a super heavy AV cannon. Alright, forget that then. We have one of our own. It doesn't seem to be in range. That's a shame. We'll try and get the ULAVs into range here as we try and chase that down. We do see some enemy infantry to our flanks. And yeah, they're ripping through our shields, so we get back over here and try and draw them into the range by SPMAT. Absolutely not a problem there. What do we see here? Another one of these fire dragon tanks. Let's go on top of the infantry here because they're rather a threat. Lovely. We do have a bombing run available as well. Not entirely sure if that's going to be available. Looks like the enemy has, yeah, they have a planetary shield generator there. Okay, well, we're just going to play defensive, draw them back into our SPMAT, try and screen a little bit here. Get rid of these infantry. Lovely. The commando snipers, interestingly enough. But with the aid of our SPMAT, our ULAVs, and our gunships will absolutely rip through these. Let's focus on this, thank you. Move back here before that does rip us apart very quickly. Try and get our raptors up a little as well. Pull back here. Keep chasing so we get sight on there and so that doesn't regenerate its shields, thank you. Lovely. Get this down as quickly as possible. More of these snipers, is it? Not quite. So SPMAT might want to get pushed up a tiny bit. Push that with the ULAVs and the dropships. Lovely. Pull back the ULAVs. Great stuff. Just the tiniest push there will be fine. Heal these. Focus that, thank you. Get some extra firepower on. Lovely. Really need to use our ULAVs flank. Use our mobility to their advantage. Go, lovely. Get the ULAVs up once again. Seems they're just creating these out of their garrison buildings though. These tanks, so we do need to really push up if possible. So we're going to garrison our infantry and actually produce a little bit more here. Come on. Why can't you garrison here? There we go. Lovely. Great stuff. How we're doing here. This one's a little more for anti-infantry, isn't it? So we'll full power to AT guns, move back. Oh, a little slow on the draw there. That's okay. Pull them in once again. We'll be fine. All of that lone infantryman. There we go. Absolutely blast that to pieces. Love to see it. Okay, so now we're going to try and once again push over to, I think, this area because there is a abandoned repair station there. That would be quite useful to push up with. We need really to get rid of those guns, don't we? If I can place some of these mines, that would be great. We're back. Okay, let's see. Let's deploy here. Get on top of this quickly. Well, actually fire on that, please. Use your AT gun for what it's meant for. Brilliant. Let's move up once again. Are we looking? Yeah, okay. Flank, thank you. Flank, flank, flank. House of weapons. Push this up. How we're looking. Flank again because we've been focused there. And actually just pull back down here now because that's too much firepower. That should be just about in range, surely. There we go. Just a tiny little dodge there. Ah, lovely. Okay, get on top of this and actually use our raptors finally. Help us a lot. We do need to retreat back now, and that is a shame. That's a real shame. Should be fine to capture that very quickly though. Push this up once again to get some range for support. ULAVs aren't going to be a lot of help apparently. That's okay. We can deal with that. Have secured the landing zone now, so an A9 would be great. More raptors, absolutely. And I think for some mobile anti-tank, we get an ACAP once again. do need to build this up as well for some more reinforcements. Yeah, look what that AV cannon's doing to our ULAVs. Monstrous damage is what it's doing. All these back to capture the repair station. We weren't able to build that up. It's proving a lot more difficult. We weren't able to seize the initiative with this fight. I think we just sit out the ULAVs now, really. Really need to get rid of that planetary shield generator as well at some point so we can bombard and bombing run. Really, don't we? That'd be good. If we can get rid of the infantry and that infantry turret, we can certainly push forwards. Oh, let's just get rid of these massive, massive tanks. Personnel carriers. Okay, that's not what happened there. Finally build that up. Lovely. We'll start inching this forwards. So finally pushing up to the centre, we did actually lose an Imperial dropship to a anti-air turret that's over here. It had the range to hit us over in this canyon. I was not expecting that, so we sat there for just a little too long. Big mistake. So we lost the infantry inside there as well. But you know what, we can live with it. Absolutely live with it. We've inflicted quite a few losses on the enemy. So we're going to go for, I think, more Raptors here. And we're actually doing quite well with anti-infantry, so get another A9 for back to healing, and another ACAP would be great there. Speaking of which, we need to shoot with this one. We could push up once again over here, capture some build pads of our own would be excellent, and I think we pick up some infantry here. Lovely, let's get on top of these. This group can advance towards the enemy base. If we just push up here and take these two command posts, and if we push into here with a couple of units, our A9s can get this anti-infantry turret, as well as our mass drivers. We can have a quick look over to that planetary shield generator. Move here. Pick up this. We see an anti-vehicle turret. We need to get out of the way of that immediately. That's not going to happen. It's emergency repair that. Definitely deploy. Lovely stuff. We're actually bypassing shields over there. How are we doing with this? Let's deploy. On garrison. Lovely. We can focus on this. So let's get an anti-vehicle turret to help us out there. Lovely. And we'll just whistle that down in our own time. So let's deploy our infantry here and go for that anti-vehicle turret. Don't know why we're pushing quite so hard here. Pull one of these A9s back. We can push on over here. That'd be great stuff. Snipe that. Planetary shield generators down. We will sense a ping to get true sight on that and bombard that just because it's got a lot of health. And that's excellent. Easy victory there. As ever. And there we go. So I don't like losing dropships, but we can certainly take it for this amazing choke point planet we can use, which also has access actually to a mining facility. So we'll certainly be happy with that victory. Absolutely. But the next thing on our list, actually, to be honest, if we're going to get greedy, it might even be Lantilles, because that's a trade centre, and we will be able to get a lot more production off of that. We do need to raid Abroa Sky immediately. That's 3 Interdictor Star Destroyers, as well as an Imperial 1, with 6 victories in total. That is absolutely disgusting. 329 pop cap. The victories will be the problem. The Interdictor Star Destroyers, as you might guess, do have reduced total firepower, but they do still have a loss of turbo lasers there. So, what are we going to do about that is the question. Just go straight in. I think we can certainly take that. And because we have this slaver hero here, we're going to make quite a bit of money if we do come out of that quite nicely. The problem there really will, like I said, be the masses and masses of victories, you know. So I think the idea is to use our fighter advantage maybe. They do have a couple Tom Falks. A lot of Lancers actually, so it might not have the advantage in that regard. We'll see what happens. Absolutely see what happens with that. And in fact, what we can do is afford Jenkins now. If we get him over here, simply because that's where our 25%, yeah, he's going to take 106. Oh, we don't quite have the funds, that's why. Not a problem. We can't get him right now then. Not a problem at all. I think, either way, that fleet is primed to attack us. So, we get these buildings as planned. As well as that mining facility, because it's very, very juicy, plus 400 income there. And I think we just really go straight for that particular fleet before there's any extra help for it. We start scouting Lantilles as well, I think. So, as if things couldn't get much worse, the enemy has in fact reinforced their fleet with an allegiance. Not the worst thing in itself, but it's just a lot more hit points to chew through. So I think we're going to have to focus down 1 or 2 ships, get rid of those and then retreat out of this. Simply because if we do stick around, we're going to be losing all of our victories, definitely losing an Imperial as well. I don't like the idea of that, to be honest. Really don't like the idea of that. I think what we do to start with is, in fact, get... Is the enemy moving up to us? No, they're not. Okay, we get a Lancer out as bait. Not got the most fighters and bombers out yet, have we? Love to draw them in and ideally bomb them on their approach would be great. Okay, so rather than one single ship taking the bait, they're moving in with absolutely everything, and that's certainly not ideal. They've got all of their Lancers around their larger ships here, so bombers are not going to be really at all effective on these central ships. So the idea is to pick off 1 or 2 ISDs and actually retreat if possible. Of course, that means removing at least the gravity well on these existing Interdictor Star Destroyers. And the problem with that is I think they'll reinforce with Interdictors once they lose Imperials. So we're not looking at an easy battle here whatsoever. Yeah, so much firepower, the bait is going to go down. That's absolutely fine. It's just baits. That skip raise moved in so quickly. Okay, let's split up a little bit here, at least get on the bombers. Tie up these fighters. And I think we go for this first Star Destroyer because we can at least pin that down, can't we? Let's try and split some of our firepower so that we do get some good splash damage out. Luckily the Lancers are will have pulled back, staying towards the back line. Didn't manage to get all the shields down with those proton rockets, did we? That's a shame. It's a bit of a waste there. Bit of a waste. Let's pull back and not go into the enemy fighters. That would be ideal. Actually tie up these fighters, please. Instead pull back. Bugger it, just go straight back in here. Generally target, get as much damage on as possible, be great. Not going to plan already. That's not a good sign. Yeah, look at that. To lose all those bombers already. Not happy with that. Not happy with that whatsoever.
Awaiting instructions.
Let's just tickle the shields here, shall we? Let's see, what are these? IPVs? Yeah. They're going to hurt our bombers on the approach. Okay, so focus that Star Destroyer where possible. So we're going to bring in Keldavi. A couple of victories there. Try and get this guy in for some salvage income. Bring in all of these lancers here to help with any fighters. Get the galleons out as well, actually. Okay, we got rid of the Acclimatus, that's something. Focus this. Lovely. Get on top of the victory here, I think. Okay, I think what we do up here is fully flank. Bring in an Imperial and 2 victories, or just the one then. Alright, we'll bring in a galleon as well then. And they can look at removing the gravity well. Get rid of this. Oh, we're not quite chewing through this how we'd have liked. Please get rid of that. That'd be great. Okay, we've dealt with 1 ISD. Let's keep focusing these turbo lasers. Lovely. Come on. Dealt with, what was that, another? That was a victory. Cool. Let's get rid of another one. What we're doing here, get rid of perhaps a Carrack. Did we get rid of that gravity well yet? We did. Okay. Get rid of this ISD and we retreat, I think. And there we go, retreat. Before we lose too much, don't you dare activate your gravity well. We've got a few seconds left. We'll do it right at the last 2, won't it? And there we go. Fairly safe. So we at least kept our hero. What else is damage? An Imperial and some minor frigates. Well, I think that's a fair trade for 2 Imperials, 2 victories, and some Carracks and such. So that's absolutely fine. We can come back into that. We do need to regroup and repair though, which is a shame. It's a massive shame. Don't know why that's off. Just costs money. Just costs money. We don't have loads of that at the moment. Look at how slowly we're moving there. That's interesting. It's a very, very slow retreat indeed. I wonder what the real reason for that is. Of course, that fleet has had a very minor split there. How's that looking on a bro sky now then? I think what we're going to do is try and transition to a few Keldavis, because they're very, very useful. I think they're just a little bit better than Imperials. Let's see, is that fleet still there? Of course it's not there now. So I think we are going to try again, because I'm fairly adamant that we do get that base. So I think we also try and take some of these corvettes and minor frigates as well, because we're very low on those here. Get a lot of lancers out. They're very, very good units indeed. And I want to think about taking to Zevro as well fairly soon, because we have raided the orbital space, and that's a lot of production and income there once again. How are we looking on Sapphire? We have all of the buildings out there. The influence is 5. So if we get that secondary Golan there, if we go to Essie, how are we looking? Influence is actually 4, so that's not great. Let's get another secondary Golan there. We did manage to double tax Essien, so that's bringing in 1,400 credits. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, we do still need to build up over here and at Garrus. So if we just get some more lancers in the queue here. Unit in production. Like so. We'll come back to Garrus and build that infrastructure up. Yeah, I'll do that. So we're finally building these Keldavis at Mandalore. So we'll take a little bit of time to build up our infrastructure, I think, and defend. And that'll be absolutely fine, because we do need the income as well. Well, got ourselves another random defensive Salagas before we could get our lances and such in. That's not a problem. We'll just create another flank over here. That's all good. What makes this significant then? Well, we also see a lot of landing craft here. So we are absolutely going to take this. And that would be some production pushback for the Pentastar Alignment once again, as well as a couple Imperials taken away from them. It's always very good to get that sort of vindication there. Makes us feel good about ourselves, it really does. Massive fighter lead here. Yeah, it's making me think we really should have just pulled in with everything when we began that previous battle, but not a problem. So we have more fighters and bombers. That might have gone a tad differently, or at least we'd have picked up a few more ships. That's okay, we can live with that. So that is the interdictor down. 25 credits, that's not bad at all. And 100 for that Star Destroyer. Starting to lose hard points here, so we move in and focus on that a little harder. So I don't want to lose an Imperial, so just a couple ships here. There we go, let's get rid of the ion cannons. And the turbo lasers are down. That's no longer doing any real damage. That's absolutely brilliant. So a lot of landing craft here. Losser indeed. Let's push up our fighters and bombers then. And that'll be fine. Let's see what that is. So what was that? That was a lot of Time Maulers and infantry. A few ATPTs. That's absolutely fine. Very happy to pick those up. Excellent stuff. Let's see what else we can do. We have actually picked up some Canderous assault tanks down here, so that's good. We do now have a Keldavi. Excellent. So they're producing fairly quickly, actually. Gonna probably. Ooh, we can now afford a Saranan. That's really not too bad at all. Is it worth guessing right now, though? Is it really worth guessing right now? I'll tell you what might be a little better is actually researching finally Jenkins there, and we can build him up perhaps around a couple Kildarbies. We have this Tector over here as well as the extra Warlord to boost his damage even more. So yeah, we'll do that, and then yeah, okay, I think we get some victories behind that then. A few there. Again, that's ruining our economy. That's absolutely fine. I think while we see nothing up above sky, we pick up the Kildarbies. We can try out as new Canderous assault tanks in an invasion of Abroad Sky. So before we could actually land onto Abroad Sky, we have actually had to intercept a new Republic fleet over Belderon. We've managed to do that with Zsinj, of course, so that's great. Bring him to the flank once again. He's quite vulnerable. So we do see a few MCACs, MCACB here. What is this one? MC40A, not a problem. We do see a fleet commander over here in the Immobilizer. Doesn't have any active traits or any commands, so that's brilliant. It's not the greatest of fleets anyway, so that's even better. That's a lot of bombers we have out. Excellent. Just move all of our fighters up to begin with. Lovely. We do have some good fleet tenders, are these? No, they're just... Oh, they are immobilizers though. They will deal with our bombs. They do interfere bombs. So bring our bombers to one side. And we can actually brawl this quite well. Quite well set up to do that. So just bring a few of the Lancers a bit further up for support. The Nebulons closer as well. Lovely. Great stuff. Bring these CR-90s up, the Krillin Corvettes. Bring our galleons forward where possible. Great, we've got a little bit of a formation going now, just a little bit of a formation. So, bombers should be in position. Absolutely bomb the MCACB with just generally attack, that's all good. No need to min-max too hard here, it's going to be fairly straightforward and easy fight. But we do drag some fighters over to tackle the enemy fighters. Got the engines? No, don't need to worry about the engines, it's already down. Excellent stuff. That assault frigate. Get rid of these though, don't like these at all. Really getting your way when they can mess up. They do come with proton torpedoes, so they are a bit of a threat. How are we doing against this? Getting some hits. It's full power though to shields. Looks like I've been hindered by these nebulons though. So that's going to be a bit of a null strike. Not a problem. Absolutely not a problem. Oh, they do have some of these MC-30s with a lot of proton torpedoes. They can rip apart capital ships. But we do have lancers and such in support, or at least we should do. Just bring these up then. Yeah, there we go. Let's push these up. Actually, these assassin corvettes can actually do some surprisingly good damage with their light torpedoes. How are our bombers doing? Let's go for this back cruiser here. So we dealt with the shields here. That'd be excellent. Dealt with the fleet commander. Great stuff. Easy game. Easy game. For once. Not a problem. Let's push up the victories. And these assassin corvettes. Get onto here. Great. Lovely. Love to see it. That's full power weapons. Really push down those shields before they can full power the shields. But it's not making a lot of difference, just a minor delay there. We'll focus down all of these turbo lasers. Excellent. Not a bad fleet roster for the New Republic whatsoever. They can have some very tanky ships like this with a lot of turbo lasers and ion cannons. Sometimes it really can just really overwhelm them. We're certainly going to make use of that here. And there we go, excellent pickup there. The New Republic does have a lot of orbital production in this area of space, so they will be able to rebuild that. They've made a good push over here. And actually the Imperial Remnant has pretty much taken the Hapen space, so that's rather worrying. But that is unfortunately going to be all for today, guys. That's dragging on a bit otherwise. So thank you very much for watching once again. It will, I think, immediately start next time with the invasion of Abroa Sky. We certainly need that. If we look at our Imperial legitimacy, we're trailing at a second place with 23% there. We need to start biting back at the Imperial Remnant to really bring that down and put us in first place so we can integrate the Pentastar Alignment here. The Grace and Maldred are doing terribly as well. They've lost all of their space over here pretty much. But that's for next time. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the future. May all of your nights and days be auspicious. Goodbye.